Thank you for joining me.
Of course.
Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am honored, literally, to be meeting such an incredible individual today. But first of all, welcome to another episode of New York Minute. This individual, this woman, a teacher and a student, is what I would consider a very, very blessed human being. Not only because she understands her purpose in life, but we're constantly learning, and she's taught me quite a bit about perspective and how we look at ourselves, and then in our journey, how we climb the ladder to achieve expectations and excel beyond it. Now, she brought this banner here, y'all. All right? This woman is incredible. The person that I'm talking about is not only a coach, not only a teacher, not only an academic professional, because she does that. You know, y'all be doing this, right? The little Coach Anita, she's also a poet as well. Now, Anita, I'm gonna let you get on the mic, but I always got to get a grandiose introduction because this is New York Minute, and it's also just to help bridge the connection to brands and people that have brands, and you have multiple brands, right? And I can hand this to you if you want, or you could just talk into the mic. It's up to you, but naturally, thank you again for gracing the New York Minute podcast.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out, man. It's been nothing but love. I appreciate it. Again, I am Anita J, also known as Poetic Coach, in the, I guess, entertainment, poetic scene as I've been expanding. And it's been an honor, and I'm blessed. I want to start with that from the Most High. If it wasn't for my faith in Christ and my walking in my faith, I wouldn't be where I am, and I'm steadily growing. So I'll start with that, and thank you again for emphasizing on my motto and what you see behind me. I was even sharing recently, Excellence Rising is not just about me. You see various languages, and I'll emphasize on that in a bit, but Excellence Rising, our motto is to excel beyond expectations that people may have of us, because excellence isn't perfection. The definition of excellence is the process of progress. It's always a process. Right. And we're steadily growing as people, and I'm understanding of that, emphasizing on excelling beyond expectations. And you let me know if you want me to pause a little bit on the backstory.
I'm loving it.
Yeah?
I'm loving it.
Okay.
And I wanted to say, I love the way you said that. It's excellence isn't perfection. You know, I don't think perfection really exists. I think it's just something that people strive for. But when you get an excellent on your grade scaling, that's like the highest award. You know what I mean? Like, what's higher than A++?
You know.
Exactly.
Right. Even as you're talking, I got to start with this. Like, I'm visualizing the kids that were a part of a poetry program. I started as a middle school teacher in Plano.
Tell me about this.
Oh, yes. I'm not going to say the school to keep it professional there.
Yeah.
But if they see this, they know who they are.
Okay.
They used to call me mom. They still call me mom sometimes. They reach out. And I strive to assist them in any way I can. I've given a lot of them volunteer hours in my program. But to reflect on them again, that poetry program, it started with, of course, me as an English teacher teaching poetry, going into figurative language.
How long did you do this for?
And teach English?
Well, the poetry program, but also just being a teacher in general. Like, how long have you been doing this?
I started teaching in 2014. I paused for a moment. before having my emergency surgery. And we're going to go back to that.
2014?
Yes.
All right. Just for reference, this is we're recording
2006.
this in 2026. We're recording this in 2026.
Yes.
So y'all do the math. 2014, y'all.
Yeah.
She's been in the game for quite some time. I always got to give reference to time because it's always good to imagine when you apply for a job and they be like, do you have 5+ experience in doing this? And it's like, some people think we started yesterday when they see this. And it's like, no, ma'am. We've been doing this for quite some time. You've been in the game.
A long time.
Yeah. A real long time.
A long time. Ooh, if it wasn't for God's grace, man. If it wasn't, for real, I have to emphasize on that for my faith. But again, let me go back to that poetry group.
Right.
When I had my emergency surgery in 2016, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
I was doing applications while I was in the hospital bed. Long story short, I ended up teaching in Plano. And as I made connections with young ones, and I just tried to motivate them. I know having my surgery, people kind of counted me out. You know, I was told I wouldn't be able to physically be as active as I once was. I was under 100 pounds when I had my surgery.
Jesus.
And yeah, I probably should have been on disability then, but we don't talk about
Right.
But
well, you look incredible.
Thank you.
The bounce back is strong.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And
God is good.
it is
all
yes,
the time.
all the time. God is good.
Yeah.
And but I still have to keep in mind those setbacks. But as I was teaching, you know, making those connections as a teacher and teaching figurative language and poetry, they needed someone to take over the poetry club.
Right.
And it went from a couple students wanting to be involved to over 12, close to maybe 14, 15, I think, towards my last year.
Class.
Yeah, and that wasn't the class. That was that. Yes, and for free.
Okay.
I would have thought I learned my lesson, but
I mean, I'm doing this.
but that's not the point.
It's we don't.
It's not the
God doesn't give us the
right.
opportunity to teach for monetary value. He gives us the ability to teach because it goes a long way in the other world. I call it the spirit world.
Come on.
And because we're all spirits living a human experience, and so when you can enrich a human that is at the end of the day a spirit, it's like helping God out. And I think he blesses us and rewards us in different ways when we do it just from our heart. Like when people do teaching just from monetary value and then they get mad about it because they're not getting paid enough to pay their bills, which I really think the school system should change that, because at the end of the day, people are trusting their kids with us. And a lot of the times it's like we got to get side hustles just to support our lifestyle. But God gave you the ability to teach for a reason. And I've seen your Instagram, I've seen your coaching, I've seen how many kids and some adults that you teach, especially on the basketball court. And I'm like, yo, like, how are you doing all this by yourself? But people ask me the same thing. How do you run all these different entities by yourself? And I'm like, honestly, God, yo, like he wakes me up in the morning, he says, get to it. And we get to it. And it's all really now, I've noticed it's just about structure, scheduling, and clear communication. And you're a very great communicator.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Very great. Seriously, because ever since we really started talking, we always like meet each other right in the perfect time periods.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me want to work with you more and support you, you know?
I really appreciate you. I'm trying to make sure, you know, we can really talk. But
this is one of many discussions,
yes,
by the way.
Yes.
You know, God willing, but
yes, for sure.
I support you.
Yes. Thank you. And but like you said, it's the wealth is not physical. The wealth comes from seeing them grow. And that group of poetry kids, those were kids, sometimes they weren't in my actual class on my roster. They were just coming after school. Oh, wow. You feel me? And again, if they see this, they'll realize now, I hope, as they've been slowly adulting, they're probably 19 now at this point. And at that point, they were like 6th, 7th, 8th graders. Okay? And I am not a fan of saying like in a sentence, and if they catch this, they'll get me. But I say that to say all of their backgrounds, now I'm coming this way for a reason, they're from different some of them Hispanic. I had to encourage one. We ended up winning for the first time, the school I taught at, they won the Plano Poetry Slam contest for the very first time ever, due to a young lady, and she'll know who she is. Shout her out. I want to say her name. I'll say her initials, AG. And I had to convince her to do her poem in Spanish. And she really didn't want to. And I knew it would be different. I knew it would. And at first she was shy about it. It's not, I don't know about it. It's growing now in the Plano area, but especially at the time I was teaching there, the school I would say was probably the most diverse.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't that diverse.
And just to ask a question,
and
so
she went,
all of this in the blue, does it all say Excel Beyond?
Yep.
That's cool.
Whether it be in Chinese, Spanish, give me time. You see,
that's really cool.
But it emphasizes again to the intention. Okay. And we're gonna go back to when I mentioned I had my surgery. Before I had my surgery, I was coaching under other programs. And I don't know what God has put me in positions to coach mostly boys, but I was coaching mostly boys programs. I was like the only woman. And I was really hustling. I was going hard with that. And I remember writing down to motivate them, excel beyond expectations.
Right. I'm listening.
And I don't know. Yes.
I read that.
Yes.
Oh, trust me, I read that.
And I don't know. I don't know. Like, that's what it means to manifest, because I didn't know I would have that surgery. I didn't know that surgery would influence me to motivate others and to start taking steps to do things intentionally in my life and say, you know what, I'm not just going to coach under other programs. I'm going to start my own. And it wasn't just, I'm going to start my own because I'm tired of coaching under other programs. No, I wanted to start my own because I saw these kids that were with me being inspired by me. Yeah. And they inspired me when they are telling me I'm inspiring them.
Yeah, because they gravitated towards you.
That part. Them saying, hey, you telling me you don't have a close connection with your biological family and you're motivating me all the time. And I would never complain about being one of the only black women teaching English or rare minority teachers. Right. But students would come to me and they would see it, especially in that area. Yeah. They would see how teachers who are not minorities would talk to me. They would see it and they would say something. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I'm having flashbacks to some students. I remember I had a reading class. It was all minority boys and one girl.
Really?
If they see this, they'll know who they are. Yes. And I will never forget a Caucasian man. I was in the middle of teaching. I was passionate. I was really emphasizing on what I was teaching. And a Caucasian white teacher came in the door. He didn't knock or anything. I was in the middle of teaching, just burst in and asked for a paper, a document. I'm in the middle of teaching. And I will never forget how upset those boys were in that room. I would never forget how upset they were about how he taught to me, and how he interrupted the class and the flow. And it could have been that reading class. That's a class of students in which most teachers write off. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. Most teachers see and say, you know what, they not gonna make it. They can't do much. Yeah. You know, they didn't pass STAR. STAR is a standardized test.
Exactly, I know.
Oh, they didn't pass STAR, so we gotta put them in reading. They're not really paying attention. No, they paying attention. Yeah. And they are very upset to see me treated that way. And for them to say something and to be observant of it, and not only that, tell me they see how I handled it.
Right. Which is a representation of how they should handle certain things in the future as well. Because
that's why,
my mom has a saying that she actually got from her husband, and it's you basically slow to speak, quick to listen, slow to speak. So, and that means you listen with intention, but you don't just react to whatever is happening. And I always give people this very, very, very simple thing. It's just a slogan, and you can carry it with you for the rest of your life if you want to. There's always going to be a storm. There's always going to be something that happens in life. But how you react to it is really what makes a difference in your life. Because just like right now, there's somebody mowing a lawn. They didn't start that until the podcast started. I could be frustrated with that external noise, but it would mess up such a beautiful moment that we're having. And so rather than be upset about it, I just take it as it is and continue to push through, because this is an incredible moment on the New York Minute podcast featuring poetic coach Anita.
Appreciate it. Man, and you already know I love to read. I could get into a connection to a couple books.
I was going to say, can we talk about some of these?
Okay, let's go ahead and get into it, because what you were saying, you already know one of my favorites is The Four Agreements. Okay, and man.
Four Agreements, written by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yes, thanks for pronouncing that right.
Me habla español mucho.
Oh, yes.
But yes, The Four Agreements, we were talking about a chapter in specific, Do Not Assume. One of my favorite chapters in this book, because a lot of people are ruled by their assumptions, especially on the internet. I highly advise everybody to check out this book.
Man.
Tell me how you feel about it, though.
Yeah, I know we're both fans of this book, so let's get into it. Even as you're talking, I'm sure so many aspects of the Four Agreements connect to everything we were just saying.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And you can flip over on a random page and it hits.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, and you already know, let's go over the Four Agreements real quick so the audience knows, right? Okay. 1, be impeccable with your word. 2, don't take anything personally. 3, don't make assumptions. And 4, always do your best. And I'm gonna emphasize on number 4. If you were to walk into one of my any of my basketball development classes, fitness, workouts, even tutoring, if I was to say, hey guys, what's my number 1 rule? They will all say, always try your best. So for sure, this book has been very influential, not only in my life, but in every aspect. Excelling beyond expectations in all aspects of life. Oh, God. I don't know. My therapist actually recommended this to me. So shout out to her. Shout out to my therapist. And
everybody should be.
Yes, everyone should. I'm not ashamed of it.
Me neither. Honestly, I'm trying to find a new one. Maybe you can help me with recommendation.
I feel you.
Off mic.
yes, for sure. But I say that to say, and I say that with intention as well, but back to the Four Agreements, this book has been, I want to say where I got it from. This book has been influential in not only me as a person, but into what I try to teach, what I do teach, and how I try to handle myself professionally, personally, and as a mentor. And I'm a emphasize on always trying your best, even for me. Now, we're not going to be perfect with this. And if you remember, context of the book, sometimes we're going to slip up. Sometimes we're not going to be impeccable with our word. It's about checking it. Sometimes even in I have the audio too, and I meditate to it, or just YouTube. Soak in the tub, Epsom salt, listening to it
with the candle lit.
Yes, and that part where it says sometimes it's gonna be very hard not to take things personally, especially when it seems like it is. It seems like it's very personal. Even if someone says they hate your guts, I think it says in here, not guts, but something along the lines. Don't take it personal, and it's so hard.
One thing I always
it's so hard,
myself,
challenging. Change my vocab.
You're right.
Impeccable with words.
It's challenging, but the thing that I always remind myself is we're always, how I look at myself and how I look at you. We're mirrors of each other, right?
Yeah.
So I want to treat you how I would like to be treated, and vice versa. I like to be treated how others hopefully want to be treated. And so when somebody says they might hate my guts, they're just. If they're talking about themselves, would they say the same thing? Some people don't like themselves, but they see us excelling, they see us shining, they see us doing things that we love, and it's like, haters gonna hate.